guys, it's Amanda. So today I'm going to be doing a Q&A slash freshman advice, another Ask MBM 2.4, but I'm just answering questions about going into high school, starting your freshman year, because I know it's about to be back to school time, unfortunately, for a lot of you guys. And I know a lot of my viewers are at the age where they're just starting high school, and I just finished my freshman year. So I think I have a lot of tips and advice I could give to you guys for your freshman year, because I actually got a ton of questions. I'm just gonna answer some, and although I do online school, I did go to normal high school for the first semester of my freshman year, so I definitely know what it's like, and I spent enough time there to, you know, first go there and be like, whoa, what's going on, and then get used to it, and then, you know, kind of know what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna be telling you things from my perspective and how my experience went, and maybe if I knew this kind of stuff before, it would have helped me out a lot. So I'm gonna give this to you. I just hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get started. How to deal with a new school and new people. You have to definitely be open to meeting new people. I've never been to a new school where I knew no one, but I know if you're going to a new high school, that could be really scary. But there's always gonna be someone else in your shoes too, and also there's a ton of classes, ton of different classes, you know, you can meet a ton of different people. I would say don't get upset if you don't get a best friend right away, you know? But just like be open to talking to new people. Maybe there's someone in your class, you just have to put yourself out there. I know it could be scary if you're not comfortable with it, but if you really want to make new friends and you don't want to be like lonely at a new school, you definitely have to put yourself out there and try to make friends. You know, you can't really just wait for them to come to you. Maybe that will happen. Maybe someone will just start talking to you, or sometimes maybe you'll just sit next to someone and you'll happen to get along really well with them. But you definitely need to put yourself out there if you're having trouble with that. How much makeup to wear, and like 1 to 10, how dressed up. So I always think like you can never be too dressed up, because that's just me. I love fashion, and even if you are more dressed up than other people, you still look good, you know? Obviously being more dressed up makes you look more put together, which is always a good thing. So in my opinion, you're obviously not gonna be wanting to wear like high heels. If you wear high heels to school, just don't. You don't wanna go like too crazy, but you can wear whatever you want, you know? If you wanna wear this much makeup, go ahead, do it, because you can do whatever you want. If whatever makes you feel comfortable. If doing makeup is like a passion of yours and you love doing makeup, who cares if you think you're wearing too much makeup for school? Like, if that's what you like to do when you wake up, if that's like the one thing that gets you out of bed, like, yes, the only thing I'm looking forward to waking up is to do my makeup. Like, then go ahead, do your makeup. Like, it doesn't really matter how much you want to wear, whatever you feel like. If you feel like wearing no makeup, like, do it, girl. I just like to dress up because I like picking out outfits. So it's kind of more dressy than most people. I wouldn't really ever wear sweats to school, which is like, most people are like, what? But I just never would, because I liked looking more put together. It just made me feel more confident. It honestly depends on what you feel, what makes you feel comfortable. Like for the first few days, that's when people are wearing like their new back to school outfits, and everyone's a little bit more put together, so you kind of know, like, just like your back to school stuff, you want to wear your nicest outfits on the first days of school, but then people start to get over it. You're like, oh, it's too early, I don't want to go to school. Then people are just wearing sweatshirts and sweats and not doing their makeup that much, just putting their hair up in a bun or something. And a lot of people do that. They'll just come to school in sweats and a sweatshirt and their hair in a bun, hardly any makeup, because it honestly doesn't really matter. I just would never do that. I just, like I said, I just like being put together. I like dressing up, I like doing my makeup, I like my hair looking good, and I like having my outfit looking good too. If I'm not comfortable in whatever outfit or my hairstyle or my makeup that I'm wearing, like, I feel like I'm just thinking about it all day. But obviously people are different, and if you're comfortable, you're way more comfortable in sweatshirt and sweatpants instead of like a full put together outfit, like, go ahead, do that. So honestly, it's all about doing your own thing. To expect that is completely different from middle school. There is so much different. So first of all, like, you can pretty much use your phones whenever. I don't know about your guys' high schools, but mine and like the ones around me, you can use your cell phones pretty much whenever. Obviously, you're not gonna be like texting in class while your teacher's teaching a lesson, but from walking from class to class, you can like call people, text people, go on your phone. You just have to figure out what your teacher's okay with, because I know in like my Spanish classes, you could not pull out your phone at all. if you pulled it out at all during that class, then you would get it taken away. But in like my biology class, if I had nothing else to do, I was able to just like pull it out. Like you could put your headphones in, listen to music, or like go on Instagram, pretty much do whatever. It depends on what your teachers are cool with, and at like lunchtime, you can go on your cell phones too. Also, what's different, the teachers don't really care about you getting your work done. Like that's what really hurts so many people, because they think like, oh, I don't do the schoolwork, like the teacher's not gonna even say anything to me. And that's how people get behind and they stop trying, or like even people will just like ditch class, they can just walk off. Because it's kind of easy to do those things, but you have to really work on yourself. You have to get the things in that you need to get in, because by this point, like the teachers are not gonna be like, oh, you didn't do your homework, get that into me, make sure you do this. Or, oh, you were sick, make sure you come in here, this is what you missed, take this, take this, take this. If you're sick and you come in, like you have to go to the teacher and say, what did I miss? Like, can you give me this? Like, there's always people that just don't really care about their schoolwork or don't care about going to each class, so they're not gonna waste their time like trying to get these kids to get their work, turn it in on time, get a good grade on it, because they just kind of like, I'm not gonna fight it with you. You have to kind of do it all yourself. Dances are really cool. That's like the best part of high school. So if there's a school dance, go to it. Like, I know there's only a few at some high schools, like just like, you know, homecoming, prom, those kind of things, but my school did like a ton of dances. Like they had a freshman dance, then they had like a aloha dance, they had like winter formal, homecoming, and like a few other just like random ones. And they're so much fun. If you get all your friends to go, then it's just like such a great time, and it's really awesome to like dress up, and it's like a whole thing, and it's great. And that's like the thing that I miss most about being in normal school. How do you avoid drama? I think I stayed out of drama a lot in my school just because it was never really worth it for me. If you're angry about something or you're having a problem with someone, these are my tips. Don't say anything you'll regret, especially if it's like close friends and you're like just in the moment, you're having an argument and you're really mad at them. Don't say anything that's like really mean, you know? You could be so upset and you maybe want to say something mean, but I would never actually say something like that, because I know you're like most likely going to be friends with them again, and you don't want to have that like, oh god, she said that about me, like, ugh. And if it's a situation that you can ignore, I'd just say ignore it, because it's not worth the drama and starting it up. Because I know girls in high school, like around this time, like that's just kind of the thing. It's just all drama all the time. So a lot of girls like drama, so if you give like them a tiny little bit, they'll just spin off that and make it like a huge thing. There's a point where there's things that need to be said, or drama will happen no matter what, but you don't have to be like mean about it. Hold your stance however you feel about it, but do it in a respectful way. If you're not saying anything mean back and you're just being like, this is my point, this is how I see the situation, there's not much drama that can go off of that. Drama gets bigger when you kind of go back and forth fighting with someone, so kind of just let it go is usually what I do. If people are causing drama, like your friends, too much, then you know you don't need to stay friends with them. Obviously, I would try to work through whatever problem you had, but if this like one person is giving you like a really hard time, and it's just over and over and over again, I don't think you should just keep waiting for them to change or keep giving them like chances and chances and chances, because most likely they won't be changing. And another way to avoid drama is just to be comfortable with yourself, because I know if I'm ever in a situation, if kind of drama is going on, and someone says something to me, I get more offended and I kind of make it a bigger thing when it actually affects me, you know? Someone says something mean about me personally and I kind of believe it, or I think, oh, maybe they're right, then that's when it kind of gets to me and it becomes a huge thing. If you're just comfortable with yourself, then no one else can really affect you in that way. If someone says, oh, you're annoying, but you think, oh, I'm not annoying at all, then there's no way that they can affect you if you're just comfortable with yourself. There's not much you can do. If you don't say anything mean back, if you don't scream at them and cause a scene, there's not much more they can even do. What if I get lost and am late to school? I'm so scared. If you are actually lost and you finally get to your class and you're late, the teachers will understand, because obviously they're not going to expect you to know exactly where everything is on your first few days, like the first even 2 weeks, you know? You're just trying to figure it all out and figure out like each class, what time can you go, what time can you come back, all of that. If you're late, just tell them I was lost and they'll be like, okay, so don't be scared. How to be confident on the first day. Just make sure you know that everyone in the high school already was in the same position as you. If you're like afraid that you're gonna be lost or you're not gonna know anyone, like everyone has been there. and everyone has been like the incoming freshmen and like, oh my god. Also, there will be peers there too. All the other freshmen probably will be feeling the same exact way as you. So you definitely don't have to feel like you're the only one. And I know at my high school, I don't know about other high schools, I think so, there's like mentors. So if you go to like a freshman, day, whatever, before you go into high school, then you get like a mentor. If you need help with anything, like that's someone that you can talk to. So that's awesome. If you have one of those, then make sure you go to them if you need anything. Are the older kids rude? So actually, like they'll always kind of say freshmen suck. Most of them are like, oh, you're freshmen. Like being a freshman is a thing. I think a lot of people get scared, but it's nothing really to be scared about. Like you can't control, if you're a freshman, you're a freshman. Like it just, that's when you were born. Everyone above you has been a freshman before too. I think they just kind of mess with you, you know, like you can definitely be friends with older kids too. It's not, don't feel like restricted because you're a freshman because they make it seem like that. I think once like the sophomores, once they're not freshmen, or when the sophomores become juniors and they're finally upperclassmen, they just like to have the upper hand and be like, oh, freshman. You'll obviously learn so much throughout your freshman year, and I think that's why the older kids are kind of like, oh, freshmen, because they have so much coming for them and they usually don't really know that. But it's kind of just like a joke. It's not really like they actually don't like freshmen. I mean, some might, but it's kind of just like, freshman, you're a freshman. Sounds kind of scary when I'm saying this, but it's not like that. As long as you're not like annoying. That's kind of harsh, but there's some stereotypical freshman things, and when older kids see that, that's when they're like, oh. Even kids in your own age, like some are rude, some are not. It's just like that when people are older, some are rude and some are not. It doesn't really have a ton to do with you being a freshman, whether they're like actually personally mean, but for the most part, like if there's someone rude, there will be mean people in school. You just don't have to hang out with the rude people. You can hang out with the nice people. OMG, do you bring a backpack on the first day? I think this is a universal high school thing, but it could, you know, it could be different in different places. But for my high school and the high schools that I know of, you don't bring a backpack to school. I know some people do. It's just not so necessary because you have lockers and you get to go to them between each of your classes. So if you have this many binders, for your class and you're like trying to put that all in your backpack, like it's not necessary. You can just leave them in your locker. Have your little kind of big purse. My purse was like that big. Just have your little purse or whatever you want to carry. Just hold one binder at a time, and then when you're done with that class, go back to your locker, switch it out, get the new one. So you're not carrying around a ton of things. Most people don't really carry backpacks. Obviously, guys don't carry purses, so then they'll maybe carry a backpack. That's pretty much all I have. That was all my freshman advice that I got from questions. I just answered them, and hopefully this helped you out. Comment down below what you thought, and if you have any more like concerns about high school, like comment down below and I'll try to answer those if you don't know what something's gonna be like, or maybe you can even tweet me and I'll answer that too if you have more questions, because I'm here to help. Also comment down below what kind of videos you want to see from me next, because I'm starting my back to school series. This is the first one. Another thing, I'm gonna be going to the Teen Choice Awards tomorrow. If you're watching this Saturday, it will be tomorrow that I'm at the Teen Choice Awards. I'm so excited. So make sure you're watching that and looking out. Maybe you can see me on TV in the crowd, and I'll be posting lots of pics on Instagram. So make sure you follow me at MakeupByMandy24. I'm almost to 1 million on Instagram. So follow me, and I love ya. Just kidding, I love you anyways. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.